The ketogenic diet focuses on drastically reducing carbohydrate intake, usually below 50 grams per day, and replacing it with high amounts of fat, typically 70 to 80% of total calories, with the rest from protein. This low-carb, high-fat approach pushes the body into a metabolic state called ketosis, where it primarily burns fat for fuel instead of glucose. While this can lead to rapid weight loss and improved insulin sensitivity in the short term, long-term adherence can strain the liver and kidneys, especially if protein is consumed in excess. It can also cause micronutrient deficiencies because many fruits, legumes, and whole grains are excluded. Common side effects include the keto flu during adaptation, constipation from low-fiber intake, and elevated LDL cholesterol levels in some individuals. Research indicates that staying in sustained ketosis for years may increase the risk of heart disease for certain people, especially when the diet relies heavily on processed meats and saturated fats rather than plant-based fats. The Paleo diet promotes eating like prehistoric hunter-gatherers, focusing on whole foods such as lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, while avoiding dairy, grains, legumes, refined sugar, and processed foods. The idea is to mimic the nutrient profile of early human diets before agriculture. Supporters claim it reduces inflammation and improves digestion, but in practice, modern paleo often includes high amounts of red meat and excludes nutrient-rich foods like beans, lentils, and whole grains, which are proven to support heart health. Eliminating dairy can also lead to lower calcium intake, raising long-term bone health concerns. Many followers rely on packaged, paleo-friendly snacks, which can be high in sugar and low in nutrients, contradicting the diet's whole food principle. Studies show short-term benefits for weight loss and blood sugar control, but sustainability is an issue due to its restrictive nature. A vegan diet eliminates all animal products, including meat, dairy, eggs, and in some cases, honey. Done correctly, it can reduce the risk of heart disease and certain cancers while supporting environmental sustainability. However, poorly planned vegan diets can lead to deficiencies in vitamin B12, iron, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, and complete protein intake. Relying heavily on processed vegan foods, such as mock meats, vegan cheese, and packaged snacks, can cause excessive sodium, refined carbohydrate, and unhealthy fat consumption. These products may be highly processed and stripped of nutrients, negating the benefits of plant-based eating. Without careful supplementation and balanced meal planning, long-term nutrient deficiencies can impair energy levels, immune function, and cognitive health. Intermittent fasting in the 16-8 format involves eating within an 8-hour window and fasting for the remaining 16 hours each day. While it can support calorie reduction and improve insulin sensitivity in some people, it can also lead to overeating during the eating window, disrupting blood sugar stability. Extended fasting can cause headaches, fatigue, irritability, and reduced performance in physically demanding tasks. For some, fasting can trigger binge eating tendencies or worsen disordered eating patterns. Additionally, the strict timing may interfere with social meals, making it hard to sustain. Some studies show metabolic benefits, but these often depend on food quality during eating periods. A nutrient-poor diet within the eating window cancels most potential health gains from fasting. Low-fat diets typically recommend limiting total fat intake to around 20 to 30% of daily calories, sometimes even less. They became popular in the 1980s after research linked dietary fat to heart disease. While reducing saturated and trans fats can improve cardiovascular health, excessively cutting overall fat intake can have unintended consequences. Dietary fat is essential for hormone production, nutrient absorption, especially vitamins A, D, E, and K, and brain function. Very low-fat diets often replace fat calories with refined carbohydrates, which can increase triglycerides and reduce HDL, good cholesterol. This shift can lead to blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Without sufficient healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and oily fish, long-term followers may experience hormonal imbalances, dry skin, fatigue, and poor satiety after meals. The Mediterranean diet emphasizes whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, olive oil, moderate fish and poultry, limited red meat, and moderate wine consumption. It is widely praised for reducing heart disease risk and supporting longevity. However, when adapted outside its original cultural context, it's often misapplied. Many Mediterranean meal plans in Western countries include high amounts of pasta, bread, and cheese while reducing vegetable variety, making them more calorie-dense and less nutrient-rich. Additionally, excessive olive oil use can push calorie intake too high, leading to gradual weight gain. The benefits of the traditional Mediterranean diet depend heavily on fresh, minimally processed foods, something lost in many packaged Mediterranean-style products, which may be high in sodium and preservatives. A gluten-free diet eliminates gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. While essential for individuals with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, it's often adopted unnecessarily by the general public under the belief it's healthier. Gluten-free processed foods frequently substitute refined starches like white rice flour, tapioca, or potato starch, which have a high glycemic index and little fiber. These substitutes can cause blood sugar spikes and contribute to weight gain if eaten in excess. Furthermore, many gluten-free packaged products lack fortified vitamins and minerals found in wheat-based foods, potentially leading to deficiencies in B vitamins and iron. Without the inclusion of naturally gluten-free whole foods like quinoa, buckwheat, and oats, the diet can become nutrient-poor and overly reliant on processed replacements. Detox cleanses claim to flush toxins from the body using juices, teas, or fasting regimens lasting days to weeks. In reality, the liver, kidneys, lungs, and skin already perform detoxification naturally and efficiently without external cleanses. Juice-only cleanses can cause severe calorie deficits, muscle loss, and spikes in blood sugar due to high fruit sugar content. Extended fasting without adequate nutrition can also weaken the immune system and cause dizziness, headaches, and nutrient depletion. Many commercial detox products are unregulated, and some contain laxatives or diuretics that cause water loss, not fat loss. This can lead to dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, which may be dangerous for individuals with existing health conditions. The Whole30 diet is a 30-day elimination program that removes sugar, alcohol, grains, legumes, dairy, and processed foods. The goal is to identify potential food sensitivities by reintroducing them later. While the short-term reset can encourage cleaner eating and greater awareness of ingredients, it's highly restrictive and can cause nutritional imbalances if followed repeatedly or long-term. By excluding entire food groups such as legumes and dairy, followers may miss out on important nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and fiber. Because Whole30 rules prohibit even small amounts of sugar or processed additives, social eating becomes challenging, increasing the likelihood of binge eating once the program ends. Many participants regain lost weight after reintroduction, as the plan does not teach sustainable portion control or long-term balance. The raw food diet is based on the belief that heating food above 118 degrees Fahrenheit destroys beneficial enzymes and nutrients. It focuses on uncooked fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and sprouted grains or legumes. While this approach can be rich in fiber, antioxidants, and plant-based compounds, it has significant drawbacks. Cooking actually enhances the bioavailability of certain nutrients, such as lycopene in tomatoes and beta-carotene in carrots. A strict raw diet can lead to deficiencies in protein, vitamin B12, iron, calcium, and omega-3 fatty acids. The high fiber content may also cause digestive discomfort, bloating, or nutrient malabsorption for some people. Long-term adherence is difficult, and the absence of cooked foods limits variety and cultural eating patterns. The carnivore diet eliminates all plant foods, relying solely on meat, fish, eggs, and sometimes dairy. It is an extreme form of low-carb eating that often results in rapid weight loss due to calorie restriction and appetite suppression. However, the complete absence of fiber leads to poor gut health, increased risk of constipation, and potential long-term colon health issues. Over-reliance on red and processed meats can elevate saturated fat intake, which may raise LDL cholesterol levels and increase cardiovascular risk. The lack of plant-derived nutrients such as vitamin C, polyphenols, and antioxidants leaves the body more vulnerable to oxidative stress. While some report short-term symptom relief from autoimmune conditions, the long-term health effects are largely unstudied and potentially harmful. OMAD involves eating all daily calories in a single meal within a 1-hour window, and fasting for the remaining 23 hours. This extreme form of intermittent fasting drastically reduces meal frequency and can lead to severe hunger, low energy, irritability, and difficulty maintaining muscle mass. While some people experience initial weight loss due to calorie restriction, it can also encourage overeating in that single meal, leading to digestive discomfort and poor nutrient distribution throughout the day. Long fasting windows may disrupt hormone balance, particularly cortisol and insulin, and may increase the risk of nutrient deficiencies if the one meal is not meticulously planned. OMAD can also have negative effects on social interactions and long-term dietary sustainability. A processed plant-based diet focuses on avoiding animal products but relies heavily on packaged vegan alternatives, such as meat substitutes, plant-based cheeses, snack bars, and frozen meals. While these products are marketed as healthier options, many are highly processed and contain refined oils, starches, added sugars, and excessive sodium. The nutrient profile of such a diet can be poor compared to a whole food plant-based approach, lacking adequate fiber variety, essential fatty acids, and certain micronutrients like B12, iron, and zinc. Relying on processed replacements can also lead to high calorie intake without providing lasting satiety, contributing to gradual weight gain. Without careful inclusion of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and seeds, this version of plant-based eating offers fewer of the disease-preventing benefits associated with traditional plant-focused diets. Macro counting is a dietary strategy that tracks daily intake of protein, carbohydrates, and fats to meet personalized nutritional targets. IIFYM allows for flexibility, meaning as long as foods fit within those macronutrient goals, they are considered acceptable, whether they are whole or highly processed. While this approach can teach portion awareness and nutrient balance, it can also encourage diets filled with processed, nutrient-poor foods if meeting macros is prioritized over food quality. Relying on sugary snacks, fast food, or refined carbs to hit the numbers may lead to micronutrient deficiencies, digestive issues, and inflammation. Additionally, the focus on strict tracking can cause obsessive behaviors around food, leading to stress and reduced enjoyment of meals. Over time, poor food choices within macro goals can undermine long-term health despite short-term aesthetic results. The high-protein bro diet is a bodybuilding-inspired eating pattern focused almost exclusively on lean protein sources like chicken, fish, egg whites, and protein powder, often paired with limited carbohydrates and minimal fats. While protein is essential for muscle repair and growth, an excessively high-protein diet without sufficient carbohydrates can impair training performance, as carbs are the body's preferred energy source for high-intensity exercise. Over time, the lack of dietary variety can cause micronutrient deficiencies, particularly in fiber, healthy fats, and phytonutrients from plant foods. Constant reliance on the same foods can also lead to diet fatigue, making it harder to maintain consistency. In extreme cases, chronic high-protein intake may place additional strain on the kidneys, particularly in those with pre-existing kidney conditions, and could contribute to dehydration if fluid intake is inadequate. The Fruitarian diet is primarily plant-based but allows for occasional meat or animal products. It's seen as a more flexible approach to vegetarianism, where the focus is on increasing plant-based foods while still leaving room for flexibility with animal products. The idea is to benefit from the health advantages of a plant-based diet, such as reduced risks of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, while still enjoying the convenience of meat in moderation. While this diet can be nutritious when properly balanced, some may struggle with consistency or fall into the trap of consuming processed vegetarian foods, which can be high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and sugars. This diet may also unintentionally lead to excessive calorie intake, especially if meat portions are large or if processed alternatives are favored too much.